Yo, what's up everyone? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. I got a great one for you. This is another collector's music CD/DVD combo, Don Dokken. Breakin The Chains, the original mix of the record from back in 1981. There's actually two mixes on here. There was a French mix of the album and also a German mix. You also get a DVD of them on Beat Club in Germany, aired early '82, so recorded a few weeks earlier, late '81. This is a great one, so we'll go over the history of the band getting their start, and then we'll go over this version here. What's the difference between this version and the American Breakin The Chains, where many of us are familiar with? I'll go over all that, and then I'll tell you about the specific CD, give you a good look at it, talk shop about that. All right, if you guys can like and subscribe, that'd be great, man. We talk collectors, CDs, DVDs, concert reviews, all that good stuff. All right, so Dokken, they get their start, and Don actually gets his start in music about 1976, that's right, man. That's kind of crazy that some of these bands that don't really make it till the mid-'80s, get their start that long ago. But nevertheless, out in LA, Don strikes up to try to get his own band going in '78. Gets more attention in Europe than in the US, does put together some tours of Europe and gets some attention from Michael Wagner and Dieter Dierks of German music production fame, involved with the Scorpions, Accept, the band Bullet, if anyone knows about them. They got a great album called No Mercy. Anyway, so he gets Don a recording contract for Breakin The Chains, but it's with Carrere Records. And of course, the Dokken lineup has people in and out of it throughout the existence of the band from '78 to '81. They have a couple different guys that end up in Rad eventually. Bobby Blatzer on drums had been a member of Dokken's band for a while. Bassist Juan Crozier, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, he's involved. He's in and out twice. He's in for the recording of the initial Breakin The Chains Carrere Records edition. That's what you get on here, and you not only get the French mix of the album, you also get the German mix, which is my favorite on here. So the one CD has two versions of the album on here. So this lineup gets together by early '81. Sounds like maybe even January of '81. You got George Lynch on guitar, of course. You got Juan Crozier still on bass. Mick Brown on drums. So for all intents and purposes, basically the classic Dokken is put together here. Albums recorded between July and September of '81 in Paris, and gets a late 1981 release in Europe. It's a Europe-only release, by the way. This wasn't even out in America yet. Of course, that would come a couple years later. And Dokken's a busy guy at this point. Things are really on the upswing. He's actually in the studio with the Scorpions during the Blackout recordings. Klaus Meine had vocal surgery and wasn't even able to cut demos. Don Dokken did at least 3 or 4 songs with the Scorpions as demos for Blackout, which I just learned that myself. That was pretty cool to hear. Couldn't track them down online yet. We'll try to get to that. And so that's basically it. This album comes out in Europe late 1981. I'll go over the difference between this and the US release in a minute here. Like I said, you get the German pressing of the original Carrere mix as the first 10 songs on the CD, and then the second 10 songs on the CD are the French, see what it says here, French pressing of the same album, and they do sound a little different. I prefer the German pressing, which is the first 10 songs. So you get 20 songs on here. The songs just repeat. The 10 songs repeat. One CD, it's a silver press CD. Awesome. So much CDR junk coming out now from the collector's market. It sucks. I'm finding myself getting sucked in because I want the material, but man, just we got a Zodiac product here. I don't think they do CDRs. They're all silver press CDs. And then what's great about this, you get a DVD of them on German TV show Beat Club, which aired in early January of '82. So that was recorded late '81. Now let me just give you my history with Dokken. In '84, I heard Into the Fire, I think it was, on Metal Shop a couple times, and I was like, man, this blew me away. I went right out, got Tooth and Nail, loved that album to death. And of course, the only other album to get it at that time was the original US mix of Breakin The Chains. I didn't even know this other one existed, right? And I tried as hard as I could to get into Breakin' Chains. I wanted to love that album. I must have put that on 5 or 6 times and just couldn't, you know, every time I put it on, I figured this is going to be the time where I get this album and love it. And it just never happened, you know. So when I bought this a few months ago, it was really just a gamble, you know. I mean, it wasn't cheap. It was $30, but you know, I just figured at the very least I got a DVD. I can watch the band in the early days. And I'll tell you, man, I'm so glad I did this. I'll tell you, explain why it's so good. That the sound on, first of all, I just have to admit, I really like the songs. I even went back and listened to the original US mix a few days ago, and now I'm into the songs. But I couldn't get into the songs that I used to love. Knight Rider, the title track, Breakin' The Chains, of course, they were great. Paris is Burning, I think it was called on the American mix. It's just called Paris here. I thought it was decent, but I thought it could have been better. You know, it just seemed like a really good song, and just something wasn't right. I think it's live. So, like I said, I took a gamble on this, and man, I just instantly, you know, it probably took me one listen to get into the songs themselves. Like, it took me to the second listen to really be into most of the songs. But what did hook me right away was the sound on here. It's very raw. It's kind of like demo-like. The guitars on here are so raw and heavy. Kind of reminiscent of like mid-70s Priest, like Sad Wings. That guitar tone is very just in your face and raw. There's no sheen on it, no production gloss like I feel like the American version has, which I'm not saying that's why I like this album. I think I am actually really into the songs now. But I really got hooked by that heavier guitar tone that's on here. Totally cool. These songs sound good heavy. They don't sound good as glossed over. They don't sound as good as glossed over. I don't want to say fluff metal, but I just don't like the production on the American Breakin' The Chains. You know, I'm into the songs now, I have to admit, but when I went back and listened, it's like, yeah, this is why I didn't really get it. Part of why I didn't get into it back in the day. Not into that, you know, just sort of one big sound, a wash in, you know, it worked for Def Leppard on Pyromania, you know. Those songs sound fine with all that fluff, that sort of haze of gloss that's just on everything going on. These songs sound better raw, in your face. The guitar's just heavy. This is like a heavy metal album, and I don't really consider Breakin' The Chains a heavy metal album. I guess it is, but the production didn't do it any favors. That's the point. Let's get down the songs real quick. Breakin' The Chains, of course, is a classic. You know, every version I've ever heard of that I love. Seven Thunders, love that song. I Can't See You, you know, when I first heard this song, I'm like, all right, this is kind of a radio-friendly song. This is one of the 2 songs that stuck in my head the most after hearing this a couple times. No, it's not my favorite song ever, but I Can't See You is actually really catchy. In the Middle is a great one. We're Illegal's just okay. I don't really love that. We're Illegal is the original name of, what's it called, Rock to Live, Live to Rock or something on the American Breakin' The Chains. Either way, it's not, you know, awesome. Now here you go. You got Paris, which is a studio version of, you know, what's on Breakin' The Chains American version. Paris is Burning, and it's live there. And some people seems like that version because you get like about a minute of George going off before the song starts. I just like studio production when it comes to hearing songs on record. You know, if I want to hear a live album, I'll buy a live album and probably hardly ever play it. But Paris sounds awesome here. It's heavy as hell. Stick to Your Guns, that's okay. Nothing great there. Young Girls, another one, not awesome. It's not great, but it's okay. Felony's cool. I really kind of love Felony. And Knight Rider, of course, I already loved before. So I would say, you know, I used to like probably 3 songs on this album. Now I like 6 or 7 of them. And not only do I like the songs, they sound better here than on the American mix to me, easily. Now, that's the German pressing I've been telling you about. The French pressing it's more like the German pressing than it is the American mix, but it does seem to have a little bit of a gloss to it. a little bit of a bit taken off that raw guitar. So German pressing is the way to go. I feel like I got my money's worth buying this product. Now the DVD of them on the Beat Club. This was, like I said, recorded late 81. It aired January 4th, 82. Perfect quality picture. The picture here is beautiful. It's like it can't even get any better. The sound here, of course, the way Beat Club was recorded was live in the studio. No overdubs, no lip syncing here. The sound's really good here. Small crowd. Looks like there's 50 people there. Really intimate thing. So the one thing about it though is that it sucks is George Lynch's guitar, you can barely hear it. It's almost like, I don't know, it wasn't making it to the mixing board. So all you really get is a little bit of the bleed through into the microphones. Really a shame. You hear him, he does a solo and you hear him okay there, but during the rest of the songs you don't really hear him much. However, now I didn't even realize Don Dokken played guitar. He not only plays guitar, he plays guitar great. The one thing about George's guitar levels, George's guitar not being heard, is you clearly hear Don's playing. It's not for show. He's actually really jamming, does some solos here and there. Even when he's playing rhythm, sometimes he throws in a little solo. It's awesome, man. So that was really cool. And he plays guitar the entire time. So it's really weird. I've seen Dokken live back in the day. How many pictures of them or whatever. I never even knew he played damn guitar. So that was awesome to see. Mick Brown sounds great. Really cool seeing Juan on bass. He sings here, and he's their main backup singer, I guess you'd say, harmony singer. And sings lead on one of the songs. I forget which one it is. And Don's more like the second singer on that one. So that was cool to see. He's a great performer. It's really funny seeing George. He looks more like John Travolta in Grease. That was kind of that was a little kicker. So that's basically what I got to say. The DVD's awesome. Runs about 40 or 50 minutes. Introduction. They'd start out with Paris, ripping version of what a great opener. I'm so used to hearing it last on Breakin The Chains, the U.S. mix. It's a great kick-ass opener. So that scored me even more points seeing that happen. Young Girls. I Can't See You. There you got a couple of more mid-tempo things. Then you get some killer stuff here. In the middle's awesome. Night Rider's great. Breakin The Chains, of course, is awesome. Seven Thunders, I think, might be one of my favorites off this album. My Little Red Book, so you get a song that was never on anything else. Then you get Felony, which is pretty cool. Little bass solo. Stick to Your Guns. Stick to Your Guns is okay, nothing great there. Guitar solo, like I said, and then they end with We're Illegal, So 56 minutes, your standard 4:3 ratio, of course, like pretty much all your old VHS transfers go. Picture is perfect, sounds great. Only problem is you can't hear George too well, but man, $30, 2 different mixes of this album, and as you can see, you got the original cover here. It was before they were called Dokken. He was going by Don Dokken. Rumor has it there's 500 versions of the album pressed with Don Dokken on the front. I'm not sure about that. It seems like you can get them fairly reasonably. I think they're printed more than that. But anyway, they did eventually take the Don off the front of this version of the record so that it's just Dokken. But I like how they used the original cover here, All right, so what do you get? You get the... showed you the cover enough. Inside the cover, you got the other side of the tray card. That's what you get, some live shots from Beat Club and the back and front of the album. You can see what the disc looks like. And the tray, you flip the tray for the DVD. Looks kind of similar. I like they got red, white, and blue going on with the CD, or the DVD rather. Silver press, like we said. Back tray card behind the DVD. You got the typical original Breakin Chains US mix cover style. And back of the CD, all your info. I love this DVD, man, and CD. Awesome pickup. Total gamble. Like I said, just never really liked the album. Really didn't make any sense for me to even buy this, honestly. It was a total leap of faith, and this one paid off, so good for me. All right, guys, check this one out if you can. I'm sure it's on YouTube. German mix is the way to go. If you were like me and didn't think too much of the first album, check this version out, man. If you like Tooth and Nail, I think you'll like this album. I would say it's definitely better than Under Lock and Key, actually. So, all right, guys, that'll do it for this time. If you guys can like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, cool. All right, catch you later.